What's up everyone, and welcome to the first of a couple of videos showcasing builds that make good use of the new buff augment mechanics that were introduced in last week's hotfix. The topic of today's video, Saryn, and how the augment change has turned her melee build into something good, into something amazing. Before we launch into the build, super quick look at the augment, how it works. The Augments Cast by holding the ability button sends out a wave that will buff any ally that it touches, plus yourself. Saryn specifically will give you a 100% Corrosive Build, not Toxin like I said in the original video, sorry about that, for 40 seconds, and that can be increased with strength and duration mods. So with that in mind, the build is going to not only focus around buffing the augment, but also her Toxic Lash, Saryn's third ability, which gives you 30% toxin damage on every attack. That includes guns, but doubles to 60 when you're using a melee weapon, and that can be increased with power strength too, so you can probably see where this is going. We're going to run Corrosive Projection on the aura. It's the best team 1 by far still. It helps reducing armor at higher levels. Then we're going to go triple umbral setup, adaptation to work with that for her extremely good tank, half rank blind rage and augur secrets for the power strength, Rage to convert damage into energy, and Venom Dose for that buff. The Arcane's pretty much personal preference here. I go with double Grace because it means I got some crazy sustain at higher levels. But you can run it with a Guardian and Grace. Can even run Victory if you don't have Grace and are confident in landing headshots. I know Graces are expensive, and in fact they're as expensive as Energizes now. So this is a very expensive loadout. But you do have options to change it up if you don't have those double Grace. But then it's just as simple as keeping up your Toxic Lash and your Venom Dose at all times and just wrecking your way through absolutely everything. With how strong Spores and Miasma are, the Melee Saryn often doesn't get a look in terms of builds. However, she was already an incredibly strong melee frame, yet with the ability to self-buff now, it actually takes this build to the next level. I mean, you saw that Simulacrum footage. I was one-shotting 165 gunners from range with a viral and heat built Redeemer. Yep, there was no corrosive on the weapon whatsoever. That all came from the buff and from Toxic Lash. And there is a decent amount of distance to some of those targets, and I was still shredding them. I played around with this build on stream, and all the while noticing it gets stronger and stronger. When I finally got to test the full build, it had me giggling like a schoolboy when I brought out the Redeemer and just saw the power of this build. The best thing about it is that, while yeah, we're not building range for our Spores, and I get that we're losing a lot of power on that clear, but 16 meter spread and on the Spores and a 20 meter miasma is actually still pretty damn nice. So while it's not as powerful as a range build for Spores from that perspective, it's still not terrible. Saryn got a huge boost from that self-buff change. Probably not much as Oberon does, since people tend to not build much strength into Saryn, whereas people do on Oberon, so it fits actually way better into his build. But he's taken this melee build to the next level. Combine this with any melee you like. Combine it with Condition Overload, because you've got Corrosive procs from your 1, you've got Toxin procs from your 3, and whatever you have on the melee. So Condition Overload scales insanely well. Like I say, I mean, hell, just put it on like a Blender memeing strike whip. It turns it into an absolute god build in arbitrations. She does so much damage, it's not even funny. I absolutely love this build, and if you are someone that loves Saryn or loves melee and wants to give it a bit of an alternative build to your standard meta Saryn, give this a go. It's ridiculous fun, and it's just amazing how good it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a ton of video ideas floating around in my head right now, which is incredible. It's nice to have my mojo back, so expect videos on those soon. But for now, many thanks for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one.